So there were a bunch of Super Bowl commercials as per usual, and as per usual, we're gonna go look through and find the best ones and the worst ones. On the whole though, what did you guys think? Thoughts, 5 words or less.
T-Mobile is cool now.
What Grace said.
I was too drunk.
I've been using T-Mobile for years and I always got made fun of. And
Free
now
mobile.
Justin Bieber uses T-Mobile.
Which was
Suck
amazing.
It, Mom.
So good.
Let's show a little bit of the commercial.
Everyone wants things unlimited. Nice moves, kid.
I'm not done yet.
Yeah, so it's essentially Justin Bieber does, I thought he was doing a funny dance.
Yeah,
He did several
and then
funny
they
dances.
got Rob Gronkowski as well and Terrell Owens. I mean, T-Mobile shelled out this year. They really wanted to make sure that they were the top commercial. They got the top talent. Other commercials that shelled out that I thought were kind of cool, Tide had that good commercial, and they had a callback to the commercial with the guy from
Jeffrey
Transparent.
Tambor.
Yeah, Jeffrey Tambor, who is, I would not have expected him to be on Super Bowl Sunday, but it was a really funny commercial. He's such a calm and soothing presence. I want
Skittles
Tide
had a
now.
good one.
So let's talk about the Skittles one. That one's getting a lot of traction. The Skittles one, here's a little look.
Katie. 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 Katie.
So yeah, there's a kid outside trying to throw Skittles at the window to get his
Yeah.
girlfriend's attention, but
everyone and their mom's eating the Skittles. You have a burglar, you have a cop, the mom, the dad, grandma, what was it, a beaver, a chipmunk?
yeah,
Was it a
just a
chipmunk?
random ass thing.
It was funny though.
Yeah.
I think there were several commercials that stood out to me a lot. I think Lady Gaga's Tiffany commercial, to me,
Stupid.
that was her, but to me, that was the most public political statement, if you will, that she made that night, because what she said was pretty cool. Like, this is who I am. I'm coming for you. And people can misinterpret that however they want, but I thought it was a great commercial with her just laying, very Mariah Carey style, just laying and being like, I love Tiffany.
Here's the thing
I'm
about
talented.
Tiffany. Tiffany is the ultimate, Tiffany, Cartier, all that is the ultimate
Chanel.
in them just charging you way too much for jewelry. Like, I went to Benihana, sat across from this guy whose son got married.
Sorry. Benihana's the ultimate in charging you way too much for
Yeah, but
little
you get a
food.
show. I'm willing to pay for it because
Go
it's
ahead.
entertainment. I'm also buying like a movie ticket when I do it. And the guy's like, my son just got engaged and his girl wanted a Tiffany ring and it costs like 5 times more than anything else. So that is the ultimate in, if you're saying, I just want to express myself and who I am. You're not, because you're going to Tiffany, which charges you, like, just go online and find out how much those ingredients cost. And then you go downtown and have someone make the same one, and no one ever has to know.
It's a status thing, though.
But it is a status thing, but it's an artificial status.
Well, but Tiffany charm bracelets, I wear Tiffany Sport Cologne. It's $100 a bottle, but it's quality because Chanel manufactures it. The thing is that Tiffany is, if people buy a Cartier Pasha or Cartier Roadster watch because, first of all, it's the quality. You pay for quality. If you go, you're not going to get...
I guess watches are different. Watches are different.
But then Tiffany does make quality things, and they service their products for life. If you have a Chanel bag that you've had for 10 years, you can return to Chanel and possibly exchange it, or they'll repair it for you. It's you get what you pay for.
So will Michael at Define Diamond down in downtown.
Also,
for life. He does it for life.
Fine, Brett. Commercials that were also really good. That was kind of weird. And you guys, the H&R Block Watson one.
Oh, I hated it.
Like, it was a
no, I hated that one.
It was just at odds with their entire... So H&R Block did commercials. They've been doing commercials with John Hamm, which are actually funny.
Yeah.
That are, don't just get your taxes done, get your taxes won. And this one, you're waiting for the punchline, but they just are like, we got John Hamm on contract. We got the original H&R Block guy on contract. We're using Watson. Let's do like this over-the-top, dramatic look at AI and how it helps you do your taxes.
Yeah.
You don't need that to do your taxes.
I TurboTax it. Get it done.
Yeah.
My least favorite commercial was the one for Yellowtail, the wine one with the
Boobs.
weird,
So many boobs, such boobs.
yeah, and then also with
That was the one that stopped our conversations, was the boobs.
With the
And
model.
my friend was there
And
with
the
his new
kangaroo.
girlfriend,
Yes.
and he's like looking over the shoulder, and we saw him look, and he's with his girlfriend, and he's like, which beach is that? Like everyone
was-
caught him like staring at the boobs on the screen, and he was like, "But what beach is that? That's Paradise Cove."
It was
bullshit.
So
He was looking at boobies.
tone deaf because it was basically they were like, what sells? Boobs, cute animals, and like a hipster, trendy spokesperson guy, and they're like, got it, like, let's just do that. And then it ended up being so tone deaf. I think that's what it was.
Right.
And also, I was upset because the kangaroo looked so fake and animatronic.
Fake as fuck.
I think they did it
Is
on
there-
purpose. Like Puppy Monkey Baby didn't look real. At least Puppy
It was
Monkey Baby
scary,
was
though.
over the top, satirical.
Right.
Like we know we're
This
doing
one,
this.
it's plausible that maybe they wanted it to look better than it ended up, and that's where I thought it was sort of strange. And then also the whole like, do you want to pet my kangaroo? I was like, ew, like gross.
Before you get to that one though, Brad, I know which one that you're gonna talk about. I want to do an honorable mention. Well, first of all, the whole theme of the commercials I saw was about like diversity and inclusion, because every year there's a theme, right? And I saw so many great movie trailers, but the
Yes.
Anheuser-Busch immigration one was phenomenal, masterfully done,
Yeah.
and it's getting a lot of backlash from people who are wanting to boycott Budweiser now.
So
Yes.
Budweiser, the story of that is it's just a guy coming from Germany and he's having a rough go of it. People telling him to go back to his homeland, and finally he ends up in Missouri. And at the end, you find out that it's
Adolphus Busch,
and
who
he's-
traveled to the U.S. in 1857, later to team up with Edvard Anheuser to brew the iconic American beer.
And you see them meet each other at a bar, and it's like,
it was well done.
And people lost their minds.
That's what's so frustrating is there's nothing in that ad that's like, what's the offensive thing in that ad?
Would you like to hear what people think the
I would
offensive
love
thing
to
is?
hear the offensive thing.
So this is a tweet from @SupportDonald. It says #boycott at Budweiser. Political ads have no place being aired during #SuperBowl. #Americans want to protect our country. #boycott Budweiser. All right, and then another one says, no thanks. It's time to #boycott Budweiser. We don't need your beer, your opinions, and your illegal immigrants. Well, you do if you drink Budweiser. Then you would need immigrants.
It's jump, but illegal immigrants is different. Like that, your point is moot because he went through a naturalization process in the commercial. Like they're stamping his
another thing that I saw
visa.
on Twitter with regards to some of the more politically charged or themed commercials was someone saying a lot of these commercials aren't anti-American or anti-Donald Trump. They're not saying anyone's name. These are actually core American values that we just seem to have sort of forgotten or moved away from in recent years. The idea of immigrants coming and bettering themselves and making friends and starting a business, that's the American dream right there. It's only recently that that's become sort of like a charged statement to say that immigrants make this country better. That was not a charged thing before. That wasn't a political statement before.
But in
now
the history
it is.
of America, like there's always a group that's the most recent immigrants to come in.
Yeah.
And we hate them for some, or not we, but like
But
we hate those people because they're new. And it's in Boston, it's the Irish and the Italians, like
Yeah.
and
And
it's the other. It's always easy to define other, and frequently there's a desire to find a scapegoat to blame for your problems.
What?
Now there's a different commercial. There was a Lumber 84 or whatever. A lumber company did a commercial that seemed to be about a mother and her daughter, like illegally trying to make it across the border.
Yeah.
But they tried to submit it to Fox, and Fox was like, at the end, there's this border wall that they come up against, and Fox is like, this is a little too much on the nose for us. Show it up to the part right before they make their journey and end up at the wall. And they say, go online to see that they're at a wall. That one I didn't get. That one is kind of saying, like, illegal, like, going around the legal immigration process.
Yeah,
It just seemed like a really well-done short film. I don't know how it's for lumber.
I don't know
or
how it was
anything.
for lumber. I actually sort of thought that it might have been for cotton, because in the commercial you see the little girl take pieces of fabric here and there, and then you find that she's made an American flag out of it at the end of the commercial, which, by the way, the only way you can see the whole commercial and get what they're trying to tell you is if you go online, and the website crashed once they put the episode on the, not the episode, they put the commercial on the Super Bowl, and then they said if you want to see the rest of the story, go online, but their website wasn't ready for it, so the website crashed. And then it's for lumber. It was one of those commercials that tried to do a little bit too much, and it wasn't clear what their ultimate message was. And that's the main job of a Super Bowl commercial is you got 30 seconds, maybe, can you buy a minute spot?
30 seconds is $5 million.
Yeah, so
With
usually it's about 30 seconds, so make your point and do it quickly.
Get in
and
and get
that's
out.
not what this commercial did.
Airbnb had a great commercial too. But you just said it's $5 million for a 30-second ad for Super Bowl, right? So don't you guys always marvel at the amount of the type of companies that advertise? Like Alfa Romeo was all over the Super Bowl. I haven't heard of an Alfa Romeo car in the United States in years.
Yeah.
But yet they sponsored the halftime report, and then they had an awesome commercial. So I mean, the
They had 3 commercials.
People are spending some money.
They were saving up for a special treat.
Like-
and the Super Bowl was their
I
little
mean,
treat.
have you seen an Alfa Romeo car in LA?
When I
My
do,
friends
it's
aren't that
old and
rich.
it's like cool. Like it's like, oh,
It's like a
cool.
DeLorean.
Way to take care of this over the years.
Yeah.
The one that freaked me out was the Honda CRV commercial
Absolutely.
with everyone in there.
Missy, Jimmy Kimmel.
But at the end, it's
So
like,
good.
it's like follow your dreams, drive a Honda CRV. Like no one's dreams are like someday I'll toot around in a van-like Jeep looking
But see,
thing.
that's all these commercials. Like even the Airbnb commercial really resonated with me. I thought it was awesome. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see who this commercial's for. And then it was for Airbnb. I love Airbnb, but that commercial, when you see it's for Airbnb, you're like, oh, I wonder what it's going to be. Is it just going to be from America? Like, is it just going to be like, hey, here's your conscience? Instead, it was just Airbnb. And sometimes it sort of takes away from the message. You're like, oh, they want me to fucking buy.
No, I
they got to my
disagree.
heart. Now they want me to buy something.
Grace, I disagree. I think, that's a good point, but I think we have to look at it conceptually and creatively because, again, you're watching this amazing, again, masterfully done commercial because all the Super Bowl commercials are pretty well done, and then it's like, oh, Airbnb. It made me think, wow, how progressive, how cool, and how creative of them. It makes me also, I have a condo that I Airbnb for people, so I'm familiar with Airbnb like a lot, and I thought that was a nice gesture from them, I guess.
Yeah, it was a nice gesture, but it still reminded me of like, oh yeah, I've paid them a lot of money. Like
Oh.
it's still, it still
personal.
comes down to, I've spent a lot of money on Airbnb. I
is
like the commercial.
providing
though.
housing for people displaced by the immigration ban. I think that's a good thing.
That's true.
I think when it comes down to it, though, if you ask people in local neighborhoods how they feel, like I live in Manhattan Beach, and we've gone to great extents. We have, but the city has gone to great extents to be like, we don't want you coming here for 2 days having a party next door to someone's house and leaving.
It's a
Like,
huge
there's-
issue, especially with HOAs too.
But I do love the inclusive nature
Yeah.
of it, and that's what it should be. The Mr. Clean one, did you see that?
No.
So Mr. Clean
It was-
is like sexy, and she wants to bang Mr. Clean. He's
Shut
a
up.
CGI Mr. Clean, and he's like dancing, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm so
Yeah.
into it. And at the end, Mr. Clean's like, Sally, or whatever her name is. And then she snaps out of it and realizes it's just her husband who's been cleaning, and she's like, it's sexy when a man cleans, and then she just jumps on him and makes out with him. I thought it was funny.
I thought it was funny.
think that's
It
been
made
the
its point.
It's been the story of like the brawny man and Mr. Clean for quite some time.
Yeah.
It's like you want to fuck this cleaning product maker.
Mm-hmm.
And then Michelob Ultra I liked because it was like, after you work out, drink.
Yeah.
That's why I thought it was a Nike commercial at first. Because
Oh, yeah.
all these people were like working out, like Adidas was, and then they crack open a beer. But that's what people do. But it's still
Do they?
Yeah, but no.
Is that what
in
people
certain parts of the
do?
country they do for sure.
What
But
parts of the country?
Albuquerque, New Mexico. But I thought it was a pretty great commercial too.
What else? Hyundai did something really cool where they took some soldiers who were in Poland and they created kind of a virtual reality experience where they didn't tell the soldiers they were doing this, but they sent their family back home to the Super Bowl and set up like essentially a version of the soldier in one of the seats, and then it made it so that the kids and the children and the boyfriends or husbands or wives were sitting there next to their soldier who was in Poland at the game. So it was a virtual reality experience where the soldier could watch the Super Bowl with their family.
I didn't see that commercial.
missed that one too.
They shot it. It
That
made me
sounds
cry this
amazing.
morning while I was watching it.
Really?
And they shot it during the game. So what they did was they set it all up. So in the fancy box, it was fake soldier with like a VR setup, and then family of the soldier. That was at the game. And then they filmed things of that while the first quarter was going on. In Poland, they film a party that they're throwing at a Super Bowl party they're filming at the barracks. And then they pull these 3 people out. They film that, which is happening at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time.
Whoa.
They take them out, they bring them into this room that's like a wraparound screen, and they turn it on, and you see the whole field. And then next to it, you see their kids and their husband or wife. And they just sit there, and I start crying, and they edit it all together on the fly and air it at the end of the Super Bowl.
Whoa, I didn't
cool.
see that one.
It was so amazing. Other than that, there's a lot of really fun ones out there, and a lot of ones that were, deeper and had more significant meaning. Audi did one about, should I tell that pledged their allegiance to equal pay for equal work. So I think a lot of good was done in a way that I think is the most interesting, which is trying to say, hey, There's East Coast, there's West Coast. This is an era of targeted marketing where like I can run one ad for Jason, a different ad for Grace, depending on what I collect online of what they like to see, and do it that way. But in the Super Bowl, everybody's watching the Super Bowl. So these are the messages that companies are either taking the risk to convey because they believe in the message, or this is the one common ground that their studies have proven most people share. So you get to learn by watching the ads that way. But what do you guys think? Give us your thoughts in the comment section below. What was your favorite commercial, your least favorite commercial? Which of us has good taste versus bad taste? And we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.